Thanks for joining me again today. In one of my previous videos, I talked to you a little bit about the 75mm artillery rounds from World War II, and I was questioning why some of them are melted. Of course, some of them aren't, but why were they melted? And it got me to thinking that I don't know if I've ever really showed you in one video the different things I had found in that dump. Everything you see before me is an example of the different types of things that I was finding. Of course, I found a lot of these and a lot of these smaller rounds, but it was a dump just in general. There's all kinds of stuff there from World War II, from beer cans and beer bottles, and there were lots of tiles that looked like they came out of the inside of a building or a floor or something. Just a lot of construction debris, like maybe they were decommissioning the base after the war, or that's just where they took their junk and pitched it. They pitched it in this river that is not very deep at all. In fact, why this stuff hasn't been found over the years is a little bit of a mystery to me, because some of it you could just look down and see, although there was a lot of logs and stuff in that general area. But what I want to do is bring you over here and just go through some of the different things that I found. Like I found the anti-tank rounds or anti-armor rounds. I found a few of these giant casings. I got some mess trays that are dated 1944, and this is what the soldiers would have eaten off of. And I think they're really cool. I know most people probably don't appreciate it, but I bet the reenactors do. I got some anti-personnel rounds here. These were made for like a giant shotgun, a few bayonets. I don't have a lot of different things here. I just have just general ideas, some of the better types of things that I was finding. So I'm going to take you over and show you the giant pile of shells that I found, or artillery rounds first, and then we'll get the baby camera out and we'll go around the table and kind of look at these things up close. Yeah, I'll just share them with you if you don't mind. Give me a minute. I just wanted to show you this pile of artillery rounds that I had found. Again, there's a couple hundred of these in here. These are all 75mm. I got some of the smaller ones. I think those are mostly 37s. There might be some 40s mixed in. But there's a whole bunch of them, and I actually have even more, and there's some more in the river. We're going to go get those this summer, if the river cooperates with us. So let's go over and look at the ones on the table. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you a few of these things. Again, this is only from the one spot. This is all World War II stuff. This is a really great book, the TM9 1901. It tells you all about the different types of artillery ammunition. Now, you can actually get this online now for free. I don't exactly remember where it is, but you can look it up. You can look up all the numbers that are on the bottoms of these things, and it will tell you exactly what they are. For example, I know that these are 75mm rounds. And these were used in both the Sherman tank in the first part of the war, and also the howitzer. There was a 75mm howitzer. And if you look on these bands, it'll give you all the numbers. Like this is a lot. Looks like a lot 22, 521 maybe 18, 1942. Isn't that cool? MW, 75mm, M72. And the M72 actually tells you that it's a solid round, and I think that's the armory mark right there. These are probably some of the most interesting rounds that I found there at that dump. And these are actually anti-personnel rounds. It's like a giant shotgun. This is the other half. It goes on like this. And these are the little end caps that went on there, but they kind of fall off when I was treating them. But these were fired out of a gun, like a little cannon, and it was like a giant shotgun. And I understand they use these a lot in the Pacific against the Japanese. I've never really read much about people using them, but I understand that they did. I have a bunch of these rounds. These are probably the most rare of the things that I have found from that place. Everybody seems to want one of these. I guess there's not too many around. This is one steel casing that I found. You can see it's broken. It's very fragile when I found it. I don't know for sure if these go together or not. I'm not 100% positive on that. May have used to known, but I don't right now. Let's just look at the writing on the rotating band. Again, this is what catches the rifling, and the rifling and grooves on here makes it spin. Because this is softer than the iron, so that's why they have this on here. It's a little bit higher than the iron. Lot 22, 643, 12, 1942, 50. That looks like 56, 37mm, M5, 1B1, which tells you what kind of shell this is. You might think this is a fuse, but it's not actually a fuse. If you look at the base, there's a hole in it, and that's where a tracer element would go. So when you would fire this thing, it would glow in the end, so you could see where the round was going. But again, this isn't a fuse. What it is, it's just what they call a windshield. And the reason they have that is this is actually the armor-piercing portion of this round. This would be used and fired against like tanks or any other armored vehicles like half-tracks and whatnot. And this is the armored-piercing part. And this little thing here is actually just a hollow cone that looks like this. That's all it is, and it just screws on the end, and they call it a wind shield. And it's a windshield so that it's more aerodynamic and flies better through the air, more straight. This is actually the armor-piercing part right here. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? So, let's see what else we have here. These are mess kits. These are actually a cool little find, I think. I found several of them. I haven't cleaned them up yet. When I say mess kits, I mean mess trays. And this is how the soldiers would have gotten their meals. Usually like the meats would go here, and you might have mashed potatoes and maybe some pie on the side and some string beans and other things like that. This would be the tray that they would actually carry around when they went through the mess line. And on the back of these, and this one's most easy to read, that's why I'm going to show you this one. It says U.S. LNG Manufacturing Company 1944. So I just really like these things. This is a nice personal item. Again, I bet your reenactors will probably like those. I don't know if they're really worth anything or not. These 75 millimeter rounds, of course I've showed you these, and I think we already looked at one, I've already forgotten. But they're solid and covered with dust. But they're solid, and you would fire these against other tanks and other armored vehicles, and hopefully it would hit head on and punch through. They were not very good. In fact, the U.S. Army pretty much did away with these early in the war and went to a 76 millimeter round, which was just a little bit bigger. This is one of the casings, one of two brass casings that I found there, and it's all beat up. And it actually doesn't even go to these things. This is let's take a look at the bottom. It's a 3-inch, it says M-A-R, maybe I don't know if that's Marine, I'm not sure, no, M-A-R, 3-inch Mark, Mark II M2, lot 1523-139-8, MMC 1942. This is a 3-inch gun. You see, it hasn't been fired. The primer right there hasn't been punched in. But I do not believe this goes with these. I'm not 100%, but I'm fairly certain. I think the casings on these were like about this long, and they were just kind of like that shape and about that long, and didn't have the taper on the end. Let's go around here and look at the bayonets. I only found 2 bayonets, and they're not in very good shape. Imagine the good ones the guys probably kept. But yeah, got 2 bayonets. I don't know if that goes on the M1 Garand, probably. I probably used to know. If you know for sure, let me know. So yeah, that's about it. Those are the things that I found. Let me grab this other casing over here. I want to show it to you real quick. So as I went over there to grab this other 75 or 3-inch casing, I remembered that I do have some of the casings that go with these. This is one of them. They're full of bullet holes. I think people probably threw them out in the river and then shot them to make them sink. I only found a couple of them, and they're all bashed up. Both of them are all bashed up. But this would have gone into the end of here, and that would have been the cartridge for either the howitzer or the Sherman tank. This thing inside, that's part of the priming system, so that when the firing pin would hit the primer, it would actually go up into this tube and go out that way to ignite the propellant. It wasn't gunpowder, it was a different type of propellant. But these do go with these for sure. These 3-inch casings, I don't think I have any 3-inch shells, so I'm not sure what the mystery behind that is. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little roundup of stuff. Typically, as a collector, like most collectors, we like to show our stuff off, and well, you know, I hope you guys looking at it, because if you want to see some more of my different types of different things I have in my collection, I'll gladly do that for you. Just let me know what you want to see, and I'll keep cranking out the videos. It's really cold and snowy today. The wind's howling, so I don't really want to go outside today. Although it should start warming up soon, and we'll get back outside then. But thanks for joining me today, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see here. Thanks.